Howdy, folks. Rich Walls from needcoffee.com here. Back again for another Wayhomer review. Here's how it works for the uninitiated. I turn this down. I've just left the cinema where I've seen a film. That's that over there, and I'm going to tell you about that film on my way home. And today we're here to talk about Django Unchained. Okay, so Django Unchained, Tarantino synopsis. Basically, oh, my mirror is looking at the sky. Synopsis. Basically, you've got Jamie Foxx's Django. Slave has been separated from his wife. Wife is also a slave. It's, by the way, pre-Civil War, Southern United States. Unpleasant. And you have a bounty hunter who is trying to find three guys. And the bounty hunter does not know what the three guys look like. However, Django does. So they strike a deal where Django can get his freedom if Django helps the bounty hunter find these three guys and get them killed. But of course, there's another wrinkle in that Django, being married, would really like to get his wife back. And so a further agreement is put together where they're going to go and try to rescue his wife. And the wife, this is all in the trailer, but I mean, the wife is being held by Leonardo DiCaprio, who, for some reason, for a lot of people seems villainous, but in this is particularly villainous. And so, being a Tarantino film, there's guns and blood and lots of violence and profanity and an excellent soundtrack. There's your synopsis. Okay, so, all right, here's the thing. Coming into this film, I was a bit concerned because I really loved the concept of Inglourious Basterds. Coming up into Inglourious Basterds, thinking about Tarantino making a film about World War II and fighting the Nazis, there just doesn't seem to be anything wrong with that from a concept level. Unfortunately, as I said at the time, the end result felt like it needed to be either a hell of a lot shorter or a hell of a lot longer, because he just was trying to do way too much in one film. So I didn't really enjoy Inglourious Basterds that much. So I was looking at the same pattern here of, well, this seems like a great idea, but what's going to happen? Well, what I can tell you is that this is pretty much exactly what you would want from a Tarantino Western. Like an actual Western, even though it's not taking place in the West, and, it's more spaghetti Western than anything else. But it's pretty much, it's all the things that I mentioned in the synopsis. You've got the insane amounts of blood and violence, just to really ridiculous levels. I mean, because you're basically, the Django of the title is an Italian spaghetti Western, which has been referenced, 6 ways from Sunday. In fact, there's lots of great cameos in the film. That's the one thing that I don't think is going to be a spoiler, because it is a Tarantino film and he is big on cameos and referencing things. You do have the original Franco Nero, who played Django, show up in an excellent cameo. Of course, it's Tarantino. That's not a spoiler. That's like saying that, not to reference anything else DiCaprio's done, but that's like saying, oh, well, I'm going to go see Titanic. Don't tell me if there's water involved, right? That's Tarantino with cameos, okay? But anyway, so all the various elements of a Tarantino film, with even a slight bit of tweaking of the timeline, that's all in there. And I know that you might be thinking, well, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing, because you can have all the elements in there, but the recipe might not work. But I think it really does work. And I think part of the reason why is because, yes, you've got a good story, and yes, you've got some good dialogue, but I think the strength of the film for this Tarantino outing is the cast. Because you've got Jamie Foxx, who is excellent in practically everything, playing Django, and he is a badass. You've got Christoph Waltz, or Waltz, or however you want to say it. It's not my fault. It spells it Waltz. Who was really one of the only things I liked about Inglourious Basterds returning, and he is fantastic as the lead bounty hunter. But pretty much everyone that you've got in this is good. Although I have to say that I think my favorite thing in the film was watching evil, slimy Leonardo DiCaprio interacting with, Sam Jackson in the lead role of, the lead slave of the household. The two of them interacting was positively hilarious in, an incredibly wrong way, but really funny. That was it for me. The cast pretty much sold me on what was happening, and even when you had violence that stretched even the conceit of what was going on at times, which is what this sort of film is supposed to do, I never got lost because they had grounded themselves so well and their characters were so good. And it's extremely easy to forget, especially with DiCaprio, that it's Leonardo DiCaprio. Okay, you watch the Great Gatsby trailer, and he's all shiny and smiling and blonde and whatever else, but here he's just a complete and total bastard. So it's very easy to just forget, oh my God, it's DiCaprio as the bad guy. But it completely works. So that was the thing that I think pleased me the most. I know that it is a 2-hour, 46-minute film, so there's a lot of film to be watched, but I never got bored, nor did I ever think that I was watching, because, there's certain directors who will make films long simply because they can. I don't want to mention any names because that would be indiscreet, Peter Jackson, but I never felt like at any point that some adult supervision, an editor needed to step in and cut this thing. It actually felt fairly tight. And I was enjoying myself with all the craziness, so I didn't necessarily want it to, end prematurely. So yes. What I will say, and this is, I think this goes without saying, but just to make sure it is said, is that when you're talking about a Tarantino film that involves, guns and violence and slavery in the American South, all of that is unpleasant enough, but you know that it's probably not going to get, I don't know that it's even possible to sugarcoat it, but it's going to be unpleasant. At no point did I feel like Tarantino had gone too far, but I think he went sort of just far enough. But all of that to say, if you're going in not expecting there to be a level of violence and unpleasantness, you are probably going to be unpleasantly surprised. So I don't know why you would be going to see this film, because I think it's pretty much been clear from the trailer with the gorgeous shot of the blood spattering over the cotton field. I think it's fairly clear what you're in for. And I think that's the thing that I appreciate most about the film, is that it was very clear as to what it wanted to be, and then it was that. Pretty much dead on was that across the board. At no point did I feel like, because that to me is what I really want from a film, is deliver on what you promised. If so, if anything, over-deliver, right? Give me more than what you promised, but don't promise you're going to be one thing and not be another, unless you're being extraordinarily clever, and most films are not clever. But this one just completely delivered on, I'm Quentin Tarantino, and I would like to do a Western, and I would like to use lots of squibs, please. I would really like to use lots of squibs. So no, I was quite pleased with it. I would say go check out a matinee. If this is your thing, I think it's worth seeing it on the big screen. But go check out a matinee to save a few bits of coin. But I think it would be worth seeing, because there's enough of a visual element going on that it really works on the big screen, and it's just good, especially with that cast. I'm very pleased, and having liked most of what Tarantino's done, ever. it was just Bastards for me was a bit of a shock. So I'm glad to see him back on target and back to what I would consider to be form anyway, because I think he's quite good at what he does. And this was just really solid. Not the best film I've seen all year, nor did I feel like it wanted to be. It just wanted to be a Tarantino Western, and it was. So there you go. Fairly simple. Anyway, thanks again for everyone who watches these things. I appreciate everyone who does and tells your friends and neighbors and family and pets and other people that you haven't met all about it. We appreciate it if you spread the word. And also, as always, if you do like these things and you want to help support us in what we do, because we do pay for stuff like the tickets, and tickets these days cost a lot of money. So you can go to needcoffee.com/support and set up a very quick and easy and dirty, if you want to think about it that way, PayPal thing that will repeat, and you can set it and forget it, as the old ad used to say. So yes, until next time, we're going to try to catch up on some 2012 films so that we can finally make some judgments about the year at large. So stay tuned for more. And thanks as always for watching. We will see you next time. Bye.
Do you want to give them a cup rating for the film you just
Oh, a
saw?
cup rating. Yes, a cup rating. Yes, 4 out of 5. Thank you. 4 out of 5 cups. Nice and solid. There you go. Now I'll say bye. Thank you. This is why I need a live camera person. Because otherwise I would just drive off into the sunset and you'd be going, don't look for the set, don't, you're going to burn people's eyes. Bye.